Hello, my name is Mars, and welcome back to Saltsea Chronicles. Before we check in with our crew, I want to look at what's updated in here. Oh yes, we got a lot of new issues here, because we just met Kiddick, our stowaway. The crew feels shocked that Iris felt like they had to conceal Kiddick. Kiddick is in love with Iris and doesn't know how to play it cool. Stu is mad at Iris. Understandable, honestly. Yeah. Stu feels annoyed and insulted that on top of additional crew members they chose, there's also been a stowaway. Makes sense. We're in the inescapable scrapes now. We met Kiddick, and it occurs to me that we never looked at these for Neshko, Sani, and Kiddick. The mysterious Neshko, 39, arrived on Yarfi around the time Maja gathered the crew. Just as they were about to heist Stickelby, he requested and received passage. Despite seeming settled, Neshko was still holding something back. Sani, 27, never quite fit into the solemn and strict society of Seesow. Sani's one close relationship is with her older sister Mandy, now missing. After growing up in a restrictive society, Sani is both lost and amazed at the freedom found on leaving. A young and desperately directionless soul, Kiddick, 17, is a self-taught dream sailor. On meeting the crew, they immediately felt they needed to be aboard. Uncomfortable with asking for passage, however, they stowed away. Kiddick has also been developing a strong attraction to their accomplice, Iris. That's cute. Neshko gazes into the water, as though hoping to find a creature who might lead the way. The fog obscures everything, the anchor chain straining into unseen depths. Sani, a preternaturally heavy sleeper, is fast asleep, unaware of the events taking place. The fog is thickening, smothering every creak of the ship. Merle stands at the helm rather uselessly. He stares into the fog as though he might be able to read answers there. Molpe has retreated to her bunk, in theory to change Adi's hippin, in practice to escape the confusion. What is a hippin? Is that their diaper? Oh, I got an achievement. Who's the best baby? It's Ade, obviously, but I don't know why I got that now. Food for thought. Stu huffs, furious with Iris's duplicity. I didn't think that I had a choice. Kiddick tries to make themselves look very small. Stu breathes hard, trying to control herself. She fails. You made me into a fool. I knew the food wasn't just going missing. I knew it. Why didn't you think you could trust us? Iris looks guilty. You let the others believe I was losing my mind. You basically called me batty. I almost believed it, too. Kiddick looks at Iris, who shakes their head. Do not get involved. A plan? Stu calls those who want to join over. Neshko opts out. Sani is left sleeping. Shouldn't we wake her? Molpe shakes her head. When we know what we're doing. I don't want her to panic. Molpe turns to Kiddick. Begin. Kiddick takes a breath. When I met you on the float, I'd been having this vision, and it was so upsetting. A vision. I'm a dream sailor. Iris frowns. Oh, these two can't date. Iris doesn't like dream sailors, unfortunately. Oh well. I'm sorry, Iris. Please, stay on track. It's something I've always been able to do. I don't even like it. But I get these dreams about, things that are going to happen. And sometimes they're hard to figure out until the thing happens, and then I see it. I don't like it. Why didn't you tell me that? I couldn't. I've been told I should get training, but I don't want it. I don't. They trail off. You dropped an anchor because of a dream? I woke and I knew we were in terrible danger. They look at Molpe. When I met you, You were kind, but there was something else. I knew I needed to follow you. Why didn't you just ask? Kiddick bows their head. Fascinating. Terrible danger is fascinating to you, is it? I didn't know why until just now. When we caught that current, it became clear. What does that mean? Stu looks genuinely worried. I've lost a friend or two to traveling currents at my time. I would also appreciate an explanation. Most currents are predictable, changing with the seasons, but you know where they are, can map them. Traveling currents are wild, unpredictable things, strong and rare. And many of them emanate from the scrapes, because they connect to the Ensolo fault. And whatever is beyond. The scrapes are a wrecking place, old monstrous buildings they called scrapers, so tall they can wreck ships. Skyscrapers? Like underwater skyscrapers? That's kind of cool, honestly. And once you're in the eye of it, there's no escape. Rumors of people living there off other wrecks making do. Never heard anyone escape, though, just people taken. Less living, more dying slowly. Surely people can study it from a distance. Molpe gestures around at the fog, Merle realizes. A part of the phenomenon. Silence. There's one thing, Kitten, I don't follow. If you knew we'd be in trouble, why not just tell us? Would you have believed me? Molpe considers. Possibly not. Fine, whatever. I'll just get on the radio and register a distress call. It won't work. Iris looks at Kiddick with, I thought we knew one another, etched on their face. I'm sorry. This is just for Iris. No one would risk it, Kitten. Any other place, yes. We can get out, I promise. It's you. You're the answer. All eyes turn to Stu. Me? I'm sorry, I know I won't be able to explain well enough for all of you. But it's true, isn't it, Stu? You've been seeing things? Molpe looks hard at her friend. Yes, I have. You can dream sail. Rust it. This is ridiculous. We should radio for help. But I thought that dream sailors revealed themselves only at a young age. Kiddick shrugs. It's Stu. I know it. Kiddick turns to Stu now. I can help you find your way, but it has to be you. Something about someone you know. You need their connection to find the answer. Stu is overwhelmed now. Stu. Alright, Stu, I said you would have your moment. You're gonna have your moment.
Okay.
Show me.
Okay.
Oh, that's what their voice sounds like. It's quite different than what I've been giving them. Okay, just trust me. And trust yourself. Stu seems suddenly panicked.
Oh.
Wait, here?
Mm-hmm.
Settle in your seat. Take strength from those around you. We'll be here, old friend. You just need a tether, something which is the core of you. Stu thinks for a moment, then digs in her pocket and pulls out her old, beaten-up pair of diving goggles. These. Perfect! Hold them. Focus on them. Use them to let the rest of your mind wander unwatched. And breathe. The fog creeps in through the hatch, swirling and pooling around the crew's feet. Kiddick gently talks Stu into a trance. Merle watches in fascination. Molpe sits back, arms folded. Iris retreats to their bunk. The fog grows thicker still. There's Stu with her diving goggles. Stu is seeing something. She's diving. She's dream sailing. Oh. diving bell. The air thickens around Stu, a chill emptiness in every direction. Stu tries to walk around, her feet silence against what? It's the same nothing in every direction. How does anyone enjoy this? Stu sighs. Absolutely nothing here. How do I get whatever it is I'm supposed to get? Stu is at a loss. She begins to feel panic rise, so stands, eyes closed, and breathes through it. Strange they call it sailing. It's much more like diving. Yes, that's how to make sense of it. Like diving. Stu closes her eyes and breathes deeply, then opens them, calmer and more oriented. So, dream diving. Oh, Celeste? Bells? Stu blinks as he tries to take in her surroundings. Muffled and vague, whispers take shape in the air. A helm recovered. A strange construction of feathers and bones floats past. The Jarmeister helm. What's that doing here? Silly old thing. Wonder if they're still after us. Probably not into a traveling current. Stu smiles. We gave him a shock. Could we explain ourselves now? She shakes her head. Probably not. For whom? A deep tolling echoes across the void. Stu peers at the shape from which it emanates, which resolves into a familiar bell. From Seesow. We could hear them from the boat, chiming every hour. That place liked to keep itself in order. Stu frowns. From what Iris said, that Sani chafed against it. Got to be flexible. Stiff branches break. She smiles wryly. Hope I haven't got too stiff myself. Birds of a feather. Stu approaches a majestic figure floating cross-legged in the muffled void. Celeste? Is that you? Stu! Oh, well done. I don't remember Celeste's voice now. I keep forgetting voices. I hoped I'd meet you here one day. Is this your first time? Am I your first guide? I think you must be. Am I dreamsailing? Celeste tips her head side to side. In a way, you're close. This is the void, the space in between, the potential. I don't understand. How can I... Oh, she's blushing. How can I not have known until now? I wish I had a recipe to follow. Celeste smiles serenely and takes Stu's insubstantial hands in hers. Her touch is strangely cold. It comes in different ways. There's no right or wrong. You remember what's important, and it appears. You imagine what you want, and well, something usually comes, but it's often surprising. None of this makes sense. That's right, and you just have to let that be okay. My advice is to start with something that makes you feel safe. You just need a pathway to somewhere firmer. Picture it in your mind, a place of comfort. Stu closes her eyes and thinks of home. She feels a new warmth in Celeste's touch, a new firmness. My Miguel. He's at home now, waiting for me. No matter how far I go, he's always there. His weight, his certainty, his love. Something soft brushes against Stu's leg with a deep, satisfied purr. Stu's eyes snap open. Lady Flufflebutt, what are you doing here? Celeste gives a deep, throaty chuckle. That's your ticket out of the void and onto whatever comes next, I should think. When you get there, look for another guide. There's always help if you ask. You're not coming with me? I don't think so. I was meant to meet you here, not further on. But you must visit me again, friend. The long-haired cat purrs in satisfaction. You won't be alone. A warm breeze stirs the air around them, ruffling Celeste's rich hair. Before you leave, I have to tell you something. You still seek Maja? Well, it's certainly why we set out. I can tell you this. There is an island I see when I think of you, with a great tower of smoke. You need to seek it out. Lady Flufflebutt opens her mouth and yawns, her teeth bright as she comes into focus. Celeste, however, is now harder to see. Stu's eyes water as she squints after her. I'll see you again, Stu, one way or another. Celeste seems to brighten and fade all at once. Stu shields her eyes. When she looks again, the dream sailor has vanished. Oh, that's Lady Flufflebutt. Oh. The comfort of Fluffle. So you're my messenger? Where are you taking me? Lady Flufflebutt cuddles up to Stu, purring deeply. Somewhere nice? Somewhere safe? She puts her arms around the cat and breathes in the comforting musk of her fur. The cat's purring reverberates until it seems to take up the whole of everything. The world shifts. Meanwhile, on the boat, the crew consider. The crew gather awkwardly in the galley, trying not to disturb the dream sailing Stu. Molpe is trying to placate Sanny. We just wanted to know what was going on first. Hey. I'm not a kid, okay? I'm a grown woman. Molpe's cheeks get a little hot.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Next time we get trapped in a traveling current that could lead us to our doom, the first thing I'll do is wake you. The corner of Sandy's mouth twitches. Right, well, thank you. Merle clears his throat. I think everyone is now sufficiently up to date. Waiting for Stu to wake. Kiddick assures us that she should find something to help us. No one's even taking my hails. Everyone looks at Molpe. Charts won't help us here. Compass works, but that doesn't mean a direction isn't dangerous. So we, wait. Stu will find what we need. I know she will. Who are you again? Ade lets out a sniffle. It was an unconventional way of asking for passage. But you have to admit, Molpe, that Kiddick did save us. Molpe watches her old friend, holding her goggles tight. Maybe we forgot to say thank you. Kiddick blushes. I'm sorry. This is just stressful, you know? I really am, sorry for misleading you all.
Hey.
You saved us all. And if you wanted to leave me, like, wherever you go next, I'd understand. Iris wouldn't. Perhaps we should use this time to take a tally. For Kiddick remaining aboard when, Stu was able to guide us to safety. Of course, you all accepted me. Never cast a bird out of the nest. Hands raised. Molpe takes a look around. Unanimous, but for her. I wonder what Stu would have to say about it. Ade lets out a wail. A useful way out. Ade needs changing. Again. She leaves the galley. Hands lower. Well, past. Yes! Kiddick looks sadly after Molpe, then back. Thank you. The crew filter back to small tasks, filling the time. All they can do now is wait. Oh boy. Merle is determinedly searching through his notes for mentions of the scrapes and accounts of escaping them. Kelpie seems calmer in the water now, although not yet out of danger. The low creak of the boat issues like a warning. Wrapped in sky, Neshko sits in the fog, letting it extinguish all the arguments and noise. Something in the haze catches his attention. Where did you come from? What can you see? He closes his eyes and puts his head back. Where did I come from? How did I get here? Consider the ineffable. Merle sweats despite the cold of the thick, clammy air. The inescapable scrapes were once the bastion of an advanced civilization, a fantastic feat of architecture and engineering. It is a pity that we can't investigate these structures ourselves. Can't even make cursory observations in this fog. So it's funny. The scrapes were a city. They were a city, and now it's just a bunch of skyscraper points sticking out of the water. That's a really cool image. Merle looks over to Iris, whose figure is wraith-like in limited visibility. Though, of course, I respect the art of dream sailing, I cannot help but wonder. I don't respect it. I understand from our conversations that you are somewhat skeptical about the interpretation of dreams are not going to save us from this. Iris! Merle descends into a fit of coughs. Iris is wide-eyed, not used to Merle raising his voice. He recovers. Iris, please stop interrupting me. Sorry. You cannot just disbelieve in a thing so many people have first-hand accounts of. Certainly not simply because you can't take it apart and examine all the pieces. Iris puts their head in their hands. I don't not believe it. I just think people exaggerate. Merle's mustache quivers. Part of growing up is learning that other people are as real as we are. We cannot understand them, but we can offer them understanding. Iris doesn't answer. Now, I suggest that we concentrate on learning all we can so that, when Stu wakes, we can be useful. Silence, thick as the fog, descends over them both. Still dreaming. Kiddick tries not to stare at Stu too much, but keeps failing. I remember my first dream sail. I was so scared. I felt like I was being swallowed by a huge wave. Then I saw them, sea dancers, so shiny, like stars. They lit my way. Kiddick breathes heavily, caught up in the memory. Lady Flufflebutt. Kiddick snaps out of their reverie. Funny name for a guide. Stu's white-knuckled grip on her goggles will not yield. Aren't dream sailors meant to look more relaxed? Disaster dusting. Sanny, having woken up to discover all in disarray, is frantically dusting. She's not very good at it. Didn't even wake me up. I know I'm not good for much, but said she was trying to protect me? I don't need protecting. She manages somehow to poke herself in the eye with the duster. Ow! Horrid dusty boat! A great creak emanates from the hull. Horrid dusty humans. You're lovely, boat. She gives the nearest bulkhead a pat. I don't think I did enough to make her feel useful. Chew tight. Mulpay sits at the table near Stu, as if guarding her from Kiddick's influence.
Listen. Oh.
Mulpay? Stu is a very dear friend of mine. Not just Stu. This crew, Dick Helpy. They're all precious to me. Anyone that would put us in danger, I would never do that. Ade squawks. Mulpay, I promise I'm doing my best. A moment, then Mulpay softens. Sanny said I'm being too hard on you. A pause. Did Iris tell you about Maja? Kiddick nods. Did Iris tell you how we met? Kiddick's eyes go wide. Stowed away in a ship I was nav on. I found her, was supposed to remove her, but I fought for her instead. Good at fighting. Maybe I hold on to things too hard. Mulpay shakes her head. You seem true to your stars, Kiddick. The sound of waves hitting the hull of Dekelpie is like the hiss of an angry cat. I suppose time will tell. No choice. If we have time. Kiddick looks at their feet. You don't have to trust me. Trust in your friends. Kiddick continues to watch Stu, and Mulpay continues to watch Kiddick. Outside, the fog laces its fingers around a kelpie, eager to claim it. Stu follows where Lady Flufflebutt leads. There's Father Fritchett. The colors here are brighter, more defined, but the void still frays the edges of things. Bright lights sparkle above, dotted against the swirling sky. The reassuringly solid presence of DeKelpie's anchor reflects the light, casting speckles of colors across the realm. A taste of home. Stu stares at the plant and yelps with excited recognition. Pluie, hello there, nice to see a taste of home. She sniffs without thinking and is surprised. I can smell it. Stu is overcome. This is the first scent she's found here, and it's a powerful sensation. She doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. Stu is surprised to find herself moved. Hold yourself together, Stu. I feel like it would be a more crying matter, since we skipped Los Gatos, which I still feel very bad about. Remember what you're here for. Stu reaches out to touch the Pluie, both real and uncanny. Feels real, smells real. Can I really dream up anything I'd like? Would be good to explore more. But Stu shakes her head. They need me. Time to get to it. The Fault in the Stars. Anta told me to look out for you. A strong scent drifts across from the Pluie dream fields. You know Anta from Los Gatos? Indeed. Why are you here? Your crewmates visited my island. You all seem to enjoy stirring up trouble. I'm sorry, we just needed information. Indeed. Well, you're here now. It seems I am to fulfill the role of guide. My friend told me to look for someone who could help. Traditionally, it is supposed to be someone with whom you have a connection. Father Fritchett looks down his nose at Stu. I appear to be all you could muster. Tenuous at best. Please. My crew is in danger, and I don't. Pull yourself together. You can't panic. A fog is gathering, obscuring their surroundings. The Pluie vanishes. You'll never get out of this mess if you panic. Take a second. Right now. Take a second and breathe. Concentrate on the tether that brought you here. Stu frowns, but then nods, closes her eyes. She holds in her hands for a second the shimmering outline of her diving goggles. She remembers what it feels like to be underwater, the way you can feel overwhelmed, the tactics she uses to calm herself. As the fog retreats, the corners of the realm sparkle with chromatic light. You are on the edge of some kind of psychic disturbance. I have to find us a way out. It seems quite simple to me, then. Find the way out of the realm, and you'll find your way out of your trouble. Stu takes a deep breath, holding in her frustration. Please. Where should I start looking? Inside yourself, I imagine. Or a representation of yourself. And in there, I'll find the answer? Father Fritchett folds his arms and thinks carefully. An answer, certainly. You had better start trying. Stu nods, determined. Stu's house on Los Gatos has appeared, shimmering. All her memories are layered on top of each other, familiar and comforting. Tale as old as time. Lady Flufflebutt purrs sweetly. Stu stoops down and lets the cat melt into her palm. With a wince, she straightens up. My knees! My back! She doesn't hurt. The background hum of arthritic pain is gone. No wonder she feels light. Well, I never. Lady Flufflebutt meows in indignation. Oh, I'm sorry, kitten. She strokes her again. And what about you? Are you the real lady, or just a copy? Stu shuts her eyes tight and opens them again. Lady Flufflebutt is staring at her, purring even louder. You are here. Lady Flufflebutt curls herself around Stu's crouched form, her tail brushing Stu's chin. It all feels very real. What should I do, my lady? Oh. The hands of the clock are turning strangely, as though spinning through Stu's memories. Damnatio memoriae. Stu pauses with pleasure as she takes in the familiar array of family portraits. A frown crosses her face. Why am I so... Stu is in the paintings, but fuzzy? It's hard for her to focus on her outline. Maybe it's because I'm here. Maybe it means I'm in between worlds or something. She looks away. The feeling of her half-presence is uncanny, disturbing. There, but not there. Stu's diving gear sits on the table. Oh, this set is much nicer than the stuff I have with me on Kelpie. She touches the gear lightly. When I get back, I'll dive every day. Stu looks determined. It's not a replica, but somehow the spirit of the place, built of past, present, and future. Children's laughter, the swish of cats' tails, Miguel's presence like a pillar holding it up. You know, I think it was in the last episode that I noted, this. Which was it? Which one was? Halves of Holes. I was like, this one is just one thing. How can a single thing be the other half of a whole? But I think I remember from the demo. This is Miguel. He is Stu's other half. So we get him in House of Holes. That I remember that vaguely. Lying on the floor in two halves of a torn canvas, the edges ragged and fraying. This is us, from when that traveling painter. She holds the two pieces, one in each hand. They're split across Maja's face. One person split in two. Two faces, two sides. Breaking apart the people who care about her. Oh, Maja, what have you done? Stu holds the two halves together, and suddenly the painting is bright and blinding. She screws up her eyes, but the light is still there, bitter, painful. The light fades, and Stu opens her eyes. The painting is dull again. Where Maja once stood, a hole is now burned in the painting. Maja.
No.
The canvas grows heavy in Stu's hands, but she feels an unavoidable clarity. She somehow knows something new.
Kitten.
You left us. Made fools of us. You're doing something that's going to hurt people. I don't know how I know, but I know. Deep in my bones. You chose to betray us. All of us.
Oh.
Even Molpe. She lays the painting back on the floor. She shakes her head. She doesn't feel so good. I've got to get back. Alright, back to the dream then. Farewell, friend. Stu reaches down to stroke Lady Flufflebutt. The cat, feeling contrary, slips past her fingers. No more cuddles, is it? I understand, kitten. You gotta respect your cat's boundaries. We've learned that with the cats we've had at my house. Stu sighs. See you again soon, I hope. Coming to fruition. I found something. It helped me see more clearly. Father Fritchett nods curtly. That's good. Though I suspect the dream is not over. You are, after all, still here. How do I know what I know? How can I go back and tell people we were lied to? Maybe I shouldn't. If you try to carry all of this, it will sink you. Share your troubles. Seek aid from your friends. Or the rest of us will suffer the results. Stu frowns, not sure how to take this. Is it always like this here? These disturbances? These lights? What are they? Stars? Father Fritchett snaps his fingers impatiently. So many questions. These early guidings are so frustrating. Your material body, it is in danger. But there is greater danger still. The fog, the lights, they are harbingers, warnings. The colors spread and shatter above them, as though chiming in. The realm has become disturbed of late. There is a rent, a fault, something coming. You must stop it from harming the whole of Saltsea. Stu makes an impatient noise. I need to wake up. I'm tired of all this. Tired, in dreams. She shakes her head ruefully. Your answers will come as you go. Ah, yes, I see now. Your anchor. He gestures towards the shining weight that has been the background of the dream all along. Not everyone dreams quite so literally, but you're still learning. Now perhaps you can let me be? I had other plans for my dreams before you. Thank you. Father Fritchett nods and closes his eyes. Anchor away. Stu moves up to the anchor and cracks her knuckles. There is a strange gravity to it, a feeling that pulls at her. Time to wake up, I think. She looks about her, at the drifting light and strange visions, the shimmering shape of her home. I could get used to this. She frowns. But first I've got to tell them. Is now the right time to go back? Yes. There is nothing left to do in the world, I don't think, in the dream. Stu grasps the anchor, and the world of dreams frays and fragments. As it does, a great breath fills Stu's lungs. She exhales one word. Oh, she's up. That's good. As Stu wakes, she exhales a single word. Yaluka. Mope starts. Stu! She's awake! You're okay, you're safe, you did brilliantly. Wow, are you okay? You don't look super well. Iris is pale. Everyone leaves Stu the space she needs to feel present again. What are you all staring at? There, you're back. I am, aren't I? Nice to see you, old friend.
Fascinating.
What was the experience like? Stu struggles to articulate her experience. At first it was just nothing. Dark, cold. Sounds frightening. And then Celeste was there, floating. Oh, really? Beaks and feathers, Merle. He blushes. Oh, he's got a crush on Celeste, I forgot. He blushes. Stu, a little more herself, catches this. She sends her regards. Said with a wink. Molpe begins to relax at this very Stu-like moment. A guide? Did she help you find your way? I wish she'd been the only one. You met several? I met Lady Flufflebutt. Interesting name. It's a cat. Well, that makes more sense. And my house was there, from Los Gatos. And inside, she's struggling for words. Maja left us on purpose. There's a stunned silence. Then everyone speaks at once.
Mandy.
Did she mention Mandy? Is she okay? Where is she? You're sure?
No.
How'd you?
Hey.
Please. One voice is left. I don't believe it. I can't believe it. Iris has lost their skepticism in the urge for answers. Where is she? Why did she have to leave? Did Hayes make her? Iris. A lot of what happened there is hard to explain. Kiddick nods. But I know that she left us. And I know that we're meant to stop her. Find out what she's mixed up in and stop them. This is too much. Fog, dreams, none of it's real. It's true. Whatever she's mixed up in, I think we're supposed to stop it. Are you sure? Sandy looks nervously at Molpe. Ade whimpers quietly. Kiddick reaches for Iris, who shrugs them off. Each of their crew turns to their own thoughts. The quiet is painful, the creak of a ship at anchor. Ade gives a short, sharp cry, and it stirs Molpe from her thoughts. Shh, little one. She looks up. The mission hasn't changed. Whatever she's mixed up in, it sounds like it's trouble. We go, whether she wants us to come or not. Neshko lays his hands on the table. Our voyage must continue. We find Maja. Stu has been frowning at Kiddick. I suppose I should thank you for finding us all the way out. Stu, what? The fog, the current. You don't mean... Stu looks confused. Didn't I say? Say what? We go to Yuluka. Wild! Stu to the rescue! Stu rubs her eyes. The dream was far from restful, and there's still so far to go. I'm sorry. It was Celeste. She told me about an island. Tower of Smoke, she said. With music and dancing and fires. As you woke. I heard you. Stu nods. I just know it. I could nav there in my sleep. So, if you're correct, setting that course will break us free of the current. Like swimming across a riptide. Fascinating. Molpe is already moving to action. Neshko joins her.
Okay.
West of here. I'll check my charts for a precise heading.
Okay.
I'll get on the radio. Call ahead.
Let's go.
Quick! Someone give me something to do! Stu takes a breath. Yoluka. Stu wants to learn more about dreamsailing, but is reluctant to ask the stowaway. Kiddick has a chance to explain himself. Good. Alright. We have a lot of stuff to look at now. Ooh. They're snuggling. Those two are snuggling over there. But we will find out what's going on with all of this next time. Until then, I have been Mars, and I will be back with more Saltsea Chronicles.